Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Mataji, welcome to Dhyan Yoga, Understanding Bhagavad Gita in 18 days. So today is 6th day, and we have covered 5 chapters of first section, that is Karma Yoga section of Bhagavad Gita. This is last chapter, and as we discussed, the next section comprises of Bhakti Yoga, and the last chapter number 13 to 18 is Jnana Yoga. So my basic question is to all of you is what we understand by yoga? Dhyan yoga. It is not yoga. It is a misnomer to call yoga as yoga. It is purely a Sanskrit word, which is pronounced as yoga only. So, can anybody explain the meaning of word yoga? We have heard this in Jnana yoga, then Karma yoga, then action in Krishna consciousness, again Karma yoga. What is yoga?
Yoga means, Prabhuji, union with the Supreme Consciousness, merging with the consciousness. And here we are reading about various paths to be followed to merge with the Supreme.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Union. Yoga is union, Prabhuji.
Yoga is union or connecting or establishing a relationship with the Supreme Consciousness, as you said, Prabhuji. So, in fact, it is union. It is linking or it is a connection with the Supreme Consciousness or Supreme Lord Himself. So this is a virtual definition of Dhyan Yoga. Dhyan Yoga is connection through meditation. So chapter 5 we just covered yesterday. Then Sannyas and Karma Yoga, that was described. Which is better? Arjuna asked that which is better, Sannyas or Karma Yoga? Lord tells both are good for liberation, but Karma Yoga is easy as compared to sannyas, because in this age of Kali, sannyas is not possible. Mind still dwells on material objects, but the senses still hover around material objects for enjoyment. So there cannot be real, in sense, sannyas. And a person who takes premature sannyas and is not ready, his heart and his senses and his mind is not verified, then he is a mithyachari or pretender. This is what we heard. And Lord explains that Karma Yoga is better than sannyas. Then out of Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma is still better, because all the fruitive, the activities which are performed in relation to material or spiritual spheres, all the activities are the results, they give out some kind of results of benefit, and that is offered to Lord. So that becomes Nishkam Karma Yoga. And the other name for Nishkam Karma, we know, that is Akarma. So it frees one from bondage. And what is that bondage? Bondage into this material world, or entangled into the material world. And this bondage is basically, Hare Krishna, bondage into the cycle of birth and death. Then finally, Lord says that liberation by focus on Supreme Lord, and that is Bhoktaram Yagitapsam Sarv Lok Maheshwara Suhridaya Sarv Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Rachati. So Lord in 5.29 says, Ki Gyatva Mam Shantim Rachati. One who knows this fact, that I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices and austerities, and I am the supreme controller of all the demigods and all the universes, and also I am the benefactor and also well-wisher of all living beings. That is Suhridev Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Rakshati. One who knows this fact attains peace. So this was the last verse in the last chapter which we heard. So before we proceed, let us pray to Shri Radha Govinda, the presiding deities at the ISKCON temple, Sri Radha Govinda Temple, ISKCON, Bangalore. And also be thankful to His Grace, Namnish Das Prabhuji, who has very kindly provided us this opportunity to interact and spread the message of Lord Krishna. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Jnananjan Shalakya Chakshurunmilita Mena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedant Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharni Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Desutarni. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. He Krishna Karna Sindhu दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता श्री राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you for joining Prabhuji and Mataji for today's class. So we just had the definition of yoga, and today we are on the last chapter of Karma Yoga section of Bhagavad Gita. That is first section, the chapter number 6, and that is known as Dhyan Yoga. Dhyan Yoga. So there are certain pictures which you can see on the screen. If the person is doing some kind of yogic exercise in a mountain which is surrounded with a lot of snow, then you can see this person who is just upside down and doing some kind of yoga. Then another person who is surrounded by fire all around and in the summer weather, and he's just upside down and doing some kind of yogic exercise. And this person is very peculiar condition here. Half the head and trunk, part of the trunk, head and neck, they are all under the earth or covered in the ground. And this person, you can see, it's a terrible condition here. The person is half buried in the earth or ground. And this, you can see this some kind of yogic exercise is being performed in a gym. So is this yoga? Do you think this we can call as yoga? Any response? Do you feel it is a yogic exercise or the yoga that Lord Krishna is talking about here in Bhagavad Gita?
No, Prabhu.
No, it is not. So this is another concept of yoga in say advanced countries like America and Europe. This is beer yoga. People are doing some kind of yogic exercise and also at the same time consuming beer. So this is can't be, of course. This is goat yoga. The lady's back is on the back of the lady. There is a goat sitting or standing. That is this yoga. And this is office yoga. People are these days is very fashionable and common in most of the offices that some break for executives is given for doing yogic exercises. Different. And there are a lot of literature you can see on your screen that for physical, mental health, for pregnancy, for yoga, for kingdom, what is all those things. And then chair yoga. Then you can see this yoga for wellness, back chair yoga, desktop yoga. So many kind of yogic exercises and books are available in the market now. But are they really yoga, part of the yoga we are talking about? Then you can see this also. What is Ashtanga yoga? So Ashtanga yoga. Asht means 8, Ang means limbs or parts. So Lord is going to tell now after Karma yoga, after Jnana yoga, Lord is now going to detail us on Ashtanga yoga. And you will remember that karma was karma, that is performance of prescribed duties, and then thereafter it was bikarma, duties performed, activities performed against the injunctions of scriptures, that was bikarma, and akarma, that was nishkam karma. The results were any results of activities were accrued, but they were offered as offered to Lord. They were not used for the own satisfaction, but for Lord's pleasure and happiness. So that was a karma.
Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt. Can you please repeat that bhi karma once again?
Prabhuji, there are 3 karmas. First is karma, which is prescribed as per the scriptures. As for each varna and ashram, certain duties are prescribed in the scriptures, right? So those are called karma. They are fruitive activities, and when one performs those activities, they result in some kind of result or fruits. And the doer of such karma, he enjoys those fruits, and these fruits, when enjoyed by the doer, they become binding. And bondage is created. Bondage, that means he becomes bound to that fruit, and again the cycle of karma and fruit that continues, and the person becomes bound to the cycle of birth and death. He doesn't get liberated. Second is bikarma. The activities performed in the mode of ignorance, when person is totally indolent, sleepy, and used to consuming meat and even intoxicants. So those activities are prohibited in scriptures. So one person who performs activities which are prohibited, which are not to be performed as per scripture injunctions, those are called bikarma. And third category of karma is akarma. Akarma is the activities are performed, material and spiritual, all activities are performed, and they accrue results also, benefits also, or fruits also. But the fruit or result or benefit is offered to Lord Krishna, then it becomes akarma. That does not bind a person who is the doer of those activities. So these are three type of karmas we have read in earlier chapters, but in fact, since we are not dealing with each and every shloka, so that must have skipped. So Ang Yoga. Ast means 8, Ang means limbs, and Yoga, of course, as you said, union with the Supreme Consciousness. So it is 8-limbed connection with Lord. The purpose of Ashtanga Yoga is ultimately getting connection with the Lord, getting union with the Lord. So now, what are these? I think most of you know that there are Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, or Dhyan and Samadhi. So we have a detailed discussion here. Lord Krishna himself is explaining what are these Ashtanga Yoga. Now, you will remember that Arjun was very confused. Tadekam, but he asked that, what is the use of doing any work? Why not knowledge? When you have given knowledge of soul, then I should go and meditate and attain jnana. There is no need of karma. So Lord said, yes, both, that is sannyas or renunciation is equally good as karma yoga, but both are relatively lead to the same type of outcome, that is liberation. But as compared to sannyas, karma yoga is easier. We know that we are in Kali Yuga, and in Kali Yuga, our life is very short. Meditation is not for this age. Meditation was for Satyuga, when people used to have a life for 100,000 years. So they could very well meditate for hundreds of years altogether, sitting at one place. So Kali Yuga, we are so materially engrossed and involved and attached to sense enjoyments that we cannot do meditation at all. But just further to explain, that is for coming up to the ladder of Bhakti Yoga, from Karm Kand to Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga, then from Jnana Yoga to Ashtanga Yoga, Lord is gradually leading us towards the path of Bhakti. And that is going to be the last verse in this chapter again, chapter number 6. So Yam means don'ts. External discipline, that means few things which should not be performed. The niyam are rules which must be obeyed. Then asanas are postural, the conditions of certain postures which are conducive to meditation or Ashtanga Yoga. And the pranayama is, of course, controlling the breath. Controlling the breath, that means reversing the yogis are able to reverse the flow of their breathing. That is, incoming becomes outgoing and outgoing becomes incoming. So this is pranayam, and pratyahar is withdrawal of senses from the sense objects. That means a person becomes detached to the enjoyment or delight incurred from the enjoyment of the sense objects coming into contact with the sense organs. And dharana is concentration at the form of the Lord, and dhyan is meditative absorption. The ultimate stage is samadhi, where there is complete union and there is no diversion of any kind. So this is pictorial description of Ashtanga Yoga. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. So this person is, you can see, he is seated for meditation, and there is a lion sitting alongside, but he is so absorbed in his meditation that he is hardly concerned. And there are many wild animals and all those things here, but he is not concerned. He is sitting straight and Now these Ashtanga Yoga are further described in details like this. You can see on the screen that first is Yam. Yam means he should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. Now, is it possible for us to live in a secluded place or live alone? We are so used to material comforts and material requirements or desires in our day-to-day life. Even following this discipline is difficult. The second limb of Ashtanga Yoga is Niyam. Niyam means one should be moderate. Moderate in eating, moderate in that these are rules to be followed. That is moderate in eating, moderate in sleeping, and moderate in habits also. Habits of working and recreation and all those things. That means neither too much eating nor too less eating. Body should be maintained so that it is fit for performance of devotional service. But here we are talking about meditation or yoga. Then third is asan. Asan means that you can see this person is sitting on the skin of a tiger or deer skin, some not really tiger, it is deer skin. There is a kush grass on the bottom. There is a skin of deer on which this person is seated, and the person is straight, his backbone is completely straight, backbone, neck, and head complete straight in line, and chest protruding outside. So he's sitting in a sacred, for asana has to be in a sacred place, it should not be a dirty place, and the body, neck, and head are erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. So he is focusing his mental eyes on the tip of the nose, and he is devoid of fear because, as I told you, this is a line, but he is unconcerned and completely free from sex life or other material desires. So this is asana, and after asana comes, pranayam. Pranayam is control of breathing process. This is described in 5.29. The practice of stopping the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance. So pratyahar is cessation of material existence. When we withdraw our sense organs from sense objects, then this state is called pratyahar. That is, there is no material contamination or no material attraction towards any material object. Then dharana. Dharana is a state in which person focuses and meditates on the form of the Lord only, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, and he is said to have attained yoga. Then dhyan. Dhyan is a higher stage as compared to dharana. As a lamp in windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist whose mind is controlled remains always steady his meditation on the transcendence himself. That is a state, higher state as compared to dharana. And now in dhyan, there is a constant meditation. There is no wavering of thought or no wavering of mind at all. And last stage of trance, this is called samadhi, and it is the ultimate state. One is never shaken, even in this midst of greatest difficulty. We know that there had been sages who were given in adverse weather and adverse conditions of temperature, or there is heavy rains, storms, but they remained unwavered in their meditation. But they were in a state of samadhi, in a state of transcendence. They were totally absorbed in self only, and no external factor affected them. So
Prabhuji,
this is
one query here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The question is that do you know of anybody, Prabhuji, who has gone into samadhi and has come back again to senses? And the second query is samadhi equivalent to moksha or not?
Prabhuji, first question
Two questions.
I do not know answer. Do not the answer person who have gone into samadhi, because we are talking about devotional service, bhakti, which is the supreme, which Lord Krishna advocates everywhere. Now, gradually, he is maturing us to the level of bhakti yoga. In this meditation, kind of meditation, as I just now mentioned, was possible in Sat Yoga. In Sat Yoga, meditation was the form of worship. In Treta Yoga, it was the sacrifices or yajnas were the practice, because people were. We'll come to it, and then in the Dwapar Yoga, deity worship was the recommended, and in Kali Yuga only Hari Nam. So next question I don't know the first answer, who went into Samadhi and came into senses.
No,
But
but then
yes,
these yugas you are mentioning, Prabhuji, that Dwapar Yug, Kali Yug, this has to be done, this has to be done. Is it also written in
yes, Prabhuji, we'll come to it. Just now, just have patience. It will come in this
and
chapter
not
only.
the others?
No, no, it will come in this chapter only, Prabhuji. The problem with this age is that our age is very short, hardly 100, less than 100 years, in fact. In Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, it is mentioned, Prayed Alp Ayushu Sabhya Kalavasmin Yuge Jana Manda Sumand Matyo Mand Bhagya Hi Upritata. In the tragedy of this Kali Yuga is that life is very short, number one. Second, people are very lazy. Thirdly, people are misguided. Fourthly, people are very unlucky. This is the meaning of this verse. And above all, they are always disturbed. When we are disturbed, can we focus, meditate? Can we have dharana, dhyana, or samadhi state? We can't. So it is not recommended for this age at all. So my next question is: are you willing to give this yoga system a try? Can anybody here, any of the devotee, does agree can do this? Is it practical to do in the atmosphere, in the world, material world which we are living at the moment?
No.
It's not possible. I think most of the people will
Yes,
agree.
Prabhuji, I think it is possible, Prabhuji. We can always give it a try.
Yeah.
People are actually doing sadhana. Many people, maybe not me, but there are people who are doing sadhana and following the path of the
Ashtanga Yoga.
sadhana or Raj Yoga to reach salvation.
Now, we are talking about Ashtanga Yoga, Prabhuji. Ashtanga Yoga is not possible in these days because, leave aside Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. First, let us talk about the yam. Do we do we follow that what should not be done? Do we follow the rules or regulations which are prescribed for Ashtanga Yoga, or is it possible to live in a secluded place and do full-time meditation like this? Because we are used to so much, despite of all kind of austerities and forsaking all kind of material comforts. Pranayam, pratyahar, cessation of material existence and withdrawal of senses from sense objects, and with no desire to enjoy them, then state attaining the all-time meditation on the form of Lord, and also going ultimately a constant state of transcendence, meditating on Lord's. We can't meditate even for 2 minutes on one single object, chosen object. So anyway, so I think most of the devotees over here will feel that it is not possible to practice this yoga system in this Kali Yuga. So we proceed one thing, but here you can see Arjuna being trained by Dronacharya, and he was so focused and concentrated. He was a yogi, born in a very pious and high family, and he was so focused that without seeing the object, he could hit it. And you can see that all the Pandavas, they were trained by Dronacharya, Guru Dronacharya only on this. And you can see here Arjun. Arjun was so strong and brave and focused in his sadhana that he fought Lord Shiva also. You see, this is a Pashupata Astra which Lord Shiva was pleased, and he gave it to Arjuna in reward of his bravery. So this picture shows that how brave he was, and yet now he is so confused by unequivocal, proclamations of Lord that renunciation of work and karma yoga. He was so confused between. So actually, he was not confused. He was confused for our sake, because he wanted for benefit to give Lord Krishna a chance to speak Bhagavad Gita and give us a message to all of us for the humanity purpose. And here you can see these are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu. Then Lord Arjuna is now already a disciple of Krishna and surrendered soul, a friend, non-envious, and now he is requesting Lord to explain what is good for him. Now This is verse number 34. Chanchala hi mana Krishna pramadi balvad dhanam tasya aham nigraham manye vayo ripsu dushkuram. He says that uh, my mind is very, hey Krishna, my mind is very pramadi, very obstinate and turbulent and very firm also. Thus aham nigram manye, I cannot control my mind. It is easier for me to control the wind. It is very difficult to control nobody can control the wind, but he was so strong that he says that I can control the wind, but my mind is so restless, turbulent and obstinate and very strong, oh Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Controlling the wind itself is very difficult. He has the strength to say that I can control the wind, but my mind is so turbulent and so all the time thoughts are going on, and I am so disturbed in my mind that I cannot focus on this Ashtanga Yoga. So Lord Krishna, in fact, approves this concept of Arjuna. He says, yes, the Supreme Lord said that, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by constant practice and detachment. Lord is giving here solution to his doubt. Yes, mind you cannot control, but yes, you can control it by constant practice. Practice means abhyas and detachment means tyag. So you have to detach yourself from this material objects and material world, and constantly if you practice you can control your mind. For one whose mind is unbridled, uncontrolled, self-realization is difficult work. Now when this is an indication he's in other way turning down Ashtanga Yoga practice, because Ashtanga Yoga is very difficult without control of mind, and without control of mind, neither yam nor niyam, niyam and asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dhyan, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi, they cannot be achieved. Achievement to the first stage is not possible. So one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is a difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by right means is assured of success. So the control of mind is the first thing. The basic purpose of all yoga is control of mind, senses, and body, of course. So when mind cannot be controlled, then yoga cannot be successful. So now this is a question here. For us, I would like to have answer from the devotees. Is mind our friend or an enemy? What is the status? Is it a friend or enemy?
It depends, Prabhuji, on how we are controlling our mind.
Yeah. So
if our mind is, if we can control it, and if you can keep it under the influence of sattvic energy, then it will be our friend. Or on the other hand, if it gets too much under control of the negative energy or tamasic energy, then it becomes our enemy.
but both friend and enemy both can't be together. There has to be
Yes,
one
it can
answer.
be. It can be, Prabhuji. Mind, it sways from positive to negative and negative to positive, just like our body. Our body is not in the state of sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic for throughout the day, 24 hours. It keeps swaying from one character to the other character, depending on the nature, the environment, our surrounding, morning or evening. So similarly, our mind also keeps swivering from sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So whenever the sattvic influence increases, the mind becomes our friend, and whenever tamasic influence increases, it behaves as our enemy. So that's how we see under the same person, a person can be very nice to you, and at the same time, in quick succession of time, that same person can become very violent or show a lot of anger. That is because that both the attributes are getting swaying together in different course of time.
Mhm.
That's how it can be a friend and an enemy
In
together.
fact, the basic concept is, if there is a good friend of yours, he is a friend always. It can't happen that once a good friend of yours becomes enemy, and then again it becomes a friend, because then once he is enemy, he will never be the same good friend again for you. So mind basically unbridled. The earlier verse, Lord Arjuna said, or Lord Krishna said that unbridled mind, uncontrolled mind is the worst enemy. So mind has to be controlled, then only it can be a good friend, otherwise it is enemy. Mind, now let us take the hierarchical position. Intelligence at the supreme. Mind comes under intelligence. Under mind comes the sense organs, and there are sense objects. The sense organs want to enjoy the sense objects. Mind corroborates and yes, approves it. But intelligence says no, this is eating another rasgulla for a diabetic person is harmful. So mind's intelligence is telling, but mind still hovers over the taste and wants to have another rasgulla because that sense organs want to enjoy it. So mind basically is our enemy unless it is controlled. And how we control this, Lord is going to tell in future, in coming shlokas. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends, but for one who is failed to do, his very mind will be the greatest enemy. So it is very difficult to control the mind. That is the first point. Arjuna said Arjuna was a perfect yogi, a pure Vaishnava. So even when he was not able to control his mind, what to talk of us people. So our worst enemy is our mind, basically. So what we have to do, conquer. Now, how to conquer our mind? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So our mind, when, as you Prabhuji said, that in morning times, that is the effect of three modes of material nature, Prabhuji. When we are in the morning time, our contact with the material objects or the material world is minimum. So at that time, we have a mode of goodness. And that lasts for some time, say up to say 6, 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, you get ready for your office and then you become materially involved. 5 to 8, you are in a mode of passion, always hankering, desires, work, pressure, tension, anxiety, so many things milestones to be achieved or targets to be obtained. So that is a period of passion because we are earning for our livelihood at that time. Then after 8 p.m., we are in a mode of ignorance. That is what you probably meant, probably. I'm going to explain that thing. Because in ignorance, person is indolent. He is sleepy. He is lethargic. He is lazy. He wants to enjoy. So that is the influence of, that is why it is said that one should do meditation, one should attend Mangala Aarti at 4:30 am, and one should do Hari Nam Sankirtana or Japam at the morning time only, because your mind is still in mode of goodness and it is relatively controlled. Because even then, you see, sometimes in the morning when you are doing meditative japam, then mind is still hovering around you. Then you pull it back and then it becomes like a monkey. You bring it back to the seat again and then start doing japam, and ultimately then it again runs away. So mind is primarily our enemy, but it has to be controlled by exercise, by yoga. And how can we do? And by remembering Krishna every time and never forgetting Krishna. So that means we should never deviate from the Krishna consciousness principles. So that is the status for all of us. Then what is the destination of someone who fails in achieving success in yoga? Now we know that if we practice Ashtanga yoga, we might fail. So Arjun is asking now, Arjun is already very certain that he can't do Ashtanga yoga because his mind is very chanchal. Chanchala mana Krishna. So he says, now what happens if I fail in my Ashtanga, a person who is doing Ashtanga yoga and he fails, then what happens? Just let us take an example of a cloud. There is a strong wind blowing and the cloud is ripped apart. There are two portions of single cloud. Now, one represents the spiritual world, the other cloud represents material world. And in the middle is that yogi. So what is the fate? Neither he belongs to the material world after if he is failed, nor he belongs to a spiritual world. So Lord Krishna here says, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. He takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Verily, such a birth is rare in this world. So Lord Krishna is assuring Arjuna that there is no loss, even if a person who is a yogi and he fails in his attempt to attain perfection in yogic exercise, there is no loss. So what happens if there is no loss? He takes in another birth, he takes in a house of Krishna conscious family or a pure pious family, dharmic family, from where he starts his spirit journey where he left it the last time. That means divine consciousness in such a yogi, failed yogi, continues, and he starts a journey from where he left. And if the family is aristocrat, if the family is of transcendentalist or very pure Krishna conscious family, or they are righteous people or dharmic people, then that environment provides him conducive environment that becomes conducive to his sadhana. So this is that means there is no wrong in doing Ashtanga Yoga, but if one fails even Ashtanga Yoga, because which is most likely, that even then there is no loss, because Sukriti, he has done some good work. Sukriti means pious activity. He has done already some pious activity. So who is the greatest yogi? You can see the picture of Narad Muni. He was constantly in a state of samadhi. He was constantly chanting name of Lord Narayan. So he's a yogi. He has never forgotten Krishna. He has always remembered Krishna. So the ladder hierarchy of this yogic exercise is, first is karma yoga. That is, we talked about 3 types of karma, and the akarma was the karma yoga ultimately. The karma yoga, that means all the activities are performed as per injunctions of the scripture. The results are obtained, but the results are offered to Lord Krishna. So it becomes Nishkam Karma Yoga. So this is Karma Yoga. Then there was the better than Karma Yoga was the Jnana Yoga. And better than Jnana Yoga is Ashtanga Yoga. But the highest ladder is Bhakti Yoga. This is hierarchy of yogic exercises. So all other yogas are progression towards the destination of Bhakti Yoga. The purpose of doing Karma Yoga, the ultimate purpose of Jnana Yoga, ultimate purpose of Ashtanga Yoga is to render loving devotional service to Krishna. That is the highest platform. Now, we have seen the difficulties faced in being Nishkam Karma Yoga. We always want some or other results. In fact, we get education just to earn our livelihood, to support our family, to enjoy our family, have the riches, all kind of comforts. Jnana Yoga is very difficult to attain because absolute knowledge is so vast that it is very difficult to attain in one single life. Whereas, earlier the people were having very long life. Kaleshu. Now in Kali Yuga, the life span is very small. So it is very difficult to attain Gyan in one single life. And Ashtanga Yoga, we have seen the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. They are so difficult and so impractical to practice in this Kali Yuga. And ultimately, Bhakti Yoga is the supreme and why it is supreme? Number 1, it is easy to perform. Number 2, there are very little rules and regulations. Number 3, it can be performed by anybody, anywhere, at any time. Number 4, it is the only means by which one can attain complete perfection of life in this one single life only. So Bhakti Yoga is supreme. Now, why Bhakti Yoga? We shall be covering Bhakti Yoga from tomorrow onwards. That is further detailing of Bhakti Yoga. So now, in verse number 47, Yogi Nam api sarvesham mad gatinantar atmana shraddhaman bhaste yo mam same yukt tamo matah. He says that, and of all the yogis, he always abides in me with great faith. Worshipping means transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So bhakti, now Lord is just mentioning that of all the yogis, one who abides with me in great faith. So Shraddhavan Shraddha is the first word. Worshipping me in transcendental loving service is most intimately united with me in this world. So yogi nam api sarvesham mad gate nantar atmana shraddhavan bhajate. Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam. One who worships me with full faith and loving and renders loving service. Sa me yukta tamo matah. It is my opinion that he is the dearest of all, and he is the dearest of all, and he is highest of all the yogis. So, yoga is basically a spiritual exercise. It is not a physical or mental speculation or kind of thing. So, so different yoga practice for different yogas. Now, Prabhuji, your question is answered in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th Canto, chapter 3, verse 52. Krate yadhyayato vishnum tretayam yajato makhi dwapare par charyayam kalau tad kirtanat. That means kirte yadhyayato vishnu. In Satyuga, it was the meditation on Vishnu's form. Tretayam yajto makham. In Treta Yuga, it was the age of sacrifice, but people used to do opulent sacrifice in the service of Vishnu to please the the Yajna Purush of Vishnu or Krishna. In Dwapare par charyayam, that means in Dwapar it was deity worship, and Kalau tad Hari Kirtanath. In Kalyug it is only the Kirtan of Lord Krishna, that is the mode of worship which is practicable in this age. So
this verse is from where, Prabhuji? This verse is from where?
Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th Canto, 3.2. Prabhuji, whatever I am saying is either from the purpose of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai, and or some scripture. Because Sadhu Shastra...
Srimad Bhagavatam is a book written by Srila Prabhupada.
No, it is nothing. No, Prabhuji, no. Srimad Bhagavatam has a very long story. Srimad Bhagavatam was first narrated by, Lord Shiva, Amar Katha to Parvati, then Lord Ved Vyas Muni to his wife, and then Sukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, and then Sut Goswami to in the Naimisharanya to 88,000 Sankadika and other rishis. So it is a book with 18. These are 18. There are 18,000 verses in this book, and Srimad Bhagavatam, like Bhagavad Gita, is a scripture written by Ved Vyas when he had written all Vedas, Upanishads, Shastra, and Sanhitas and everything, but he was not happy. So his spiritual master, Ved Vyas' spiritual master, was Narad Muni. Then he went to Narad Muni. See, look, I've written so much of knowledge, and I've got so much of knowledge now, and I was given so much of the scriptures, but I'm still not satisfied. Then Lord Narad Muni, he instructed him to write about Krishna. It is a story. This what we are reading is Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, which is a story. This is by Sri Krishna, and Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is about Krishna. About Krishna, how this creation was made, why Krishna came to this earth, what are his incarnations, what is his Leela, and what will happen at the end of Kali Yuga, when Krishna, at the end of this Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna leaves this world, where shall the religion? These 6 questions were asked by the Naimisharanya sages to Sut Goswami. So Srimad Bhagavatam, we are talking only from scriptures, nothing. There is no personal opinion, there is no personal commentary. That is why we give emphasis, or Srila Prabhupada, he gives emphasis on reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, because there is no deviation, no interpretation, no personal opinions, no diversion from what Lord Krishna said. So Prati, you can read here. This is what I had been quoting a number of times here. In Kali Yuga, it is only Nam Sankirtan of the Lord, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mode of Radha Rani to spread this Nam Sankirtan movement. So Satyuga, it was the meditation of Lord Vishnu. In Treta Yoga, it was performing expensive sacrifices or yajnas. In Dwapara Yoga, it was worship of deity. You can see that Maharaj is performing, yajna, and Krishna is sitting as Yajna Purus. And in the Kali Yuga, in the present days, chanting holy name of the Lord is the only remedy for all of us. So now there is a basic question. Now we have to go to this high-rise building. So what shall we take? Shall we take an elevator or take a staircase?
Elevator.
Elevator.
Elevator. Why?
It is easy to go upward.
Easiest way.
Yes, Mataji. Why shall we take elevator?
I
Because
think it is easiest. It is the easiest way to reach.
easiest way to reach, faster way, not much of effort is required, and within shorter time we can reach there. Time is also factor. Here everything is opposite when we go use. And we have just now hierarchy of yoga system we have just now seen. The Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then after Ashtanga Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga, and the most beautiful thing about Bhakti Yoga is that you can get perfection of life in this one life only. And the Karma Yogis and Jnana Yogis and Ashtanga Yogis, they have to carry on their exercises for many births, which is not possible. Our life is already very short, less than 100 years. If somebody lives beyond 100, we say we are surprised. We celebrate that occasion, in fact. So, as this is a verse from chapter number 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Alpayeshu, that which I just now mentioned. Alpayeshu, Prane Alpayeshu, Sabhya Kalab Asmin Yuge Jana, Manda Sumand Matiyo, Mand Bhagya Hi Upratata. In this Kali Yuga, our life span is short. We are lazy, we are disturbed, we are misguided, and we are unmotivated. We are always disturbed. So, in these conditions, any kind of yoga is very difficult to perform. And Bhakti Yoga, as I told you, there are 5 reasons which I just now mentioned. So, what is a mantra? Man and Tra. Man means mind, and Tra means your something that delivers or liberates us. That is mantra. And what is this mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Now, this mantra is not made by anybody. This is transcendental mantra, and we'll have scriptural evidence that it is transcendental. It has come from Goloka Vrindavan. Lord Krishna himself said it. Now, so many things, so many scriptures, how they support this mantra, and who in this Kali Yuga propagated. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated this mantra. So Nam Sankirtana, when it is a japam, when you are doing a single, when there is collective singing or chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it becomes Sankirtana. So then I'll give you references here. Prabhupada has given references from scripture, many scriptures, Bhagavadgita, then Art of Self-Realizing, Life Comes After Life. So many books are here which sing the glory or mention the glory of Lord, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So first is Narayan Sanhita. In the Dwapar Yuga, one could satisfy Krishna or Vishnu only by worshipping opulently according to the Pancharatrika system. But in the stone age of Kali, in the iron age of Kali, one can easily satisfy and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Hare, simply by chanting his holy name. This is Narayan Sanhita, which says that this is the only. I cannot read this because it is mixed with Bangalore. So you can see the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who spread this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And this is again, this is the shortest word. I've just noted it in Sanskrit. Iti Shodishakam Nam Kali Kalmash Nashnam Natah Paratroya Paya Sarv Vedeshu Drashtate. After searching, Sarv Vedeshu Drashtate. That means after searching through all the Vedic literature, One cannot find a method of religion more sublime for the age than the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is Kali Sanatana Upanishad. Then comes Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 17.21. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam, Kalau Nasti, Ev Nasti, Ev Nasti, Ev Gatir Annitha. It's a beautiful verse. It says, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam. In the Kalyu, Kalau Nasti. In the Kalyu, there is only one mantra, and that is Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam. Nasti eva nasti eva nasti eva gatirata. If one does not do it, one does not do it, if one does not do it, eva gatir anitha, that means there is no spiritual progress and it is going to be contrary to the spiritual progress. So this is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 17.21. Then Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, chapter 3, verse number 51. And this is what Parikshit Maharaj was told by Sukdev Goswami at this Tirth, when he was for 7 days listening Bhagavatam from Sukdev Maharaj. In this, there is a place in Muzaffarnagar, which is where this place is located, where this sermon was, this Srimad Bhagavatam was narrated to. Kaler dosh nidhe rajan asti hi eko mahan gun kirtanad ev krishnasya mukt sangasya para brajit. That means in this Kalyuga, there are so many vices in Kalyuga, there are so many bad things about this Kalyuga. But asti hi eko mahan, but there is one great virtue of this Kalyuga. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. Krishna's, that is Kirtana, that means Kirtan or Sankirtan or chanting of holy name of Lord Krishna. Mukta Sangas Parabrajit. That means it is the only liberating force which can liberate one from this iron age of Kali, simply chanting of. So this, though this Kali Yuga is filled with so many vices, but still there is a great quality in this, and this quality by using this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can get liberation in this. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying. My dear king, this is the translation. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is still one good quality about this age, and it is that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from the material bondage and be promoted to higher transcendental kingdom. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam says. And even in Bhagavad Gita, we will come to this chapter, verse number 10, chapter number 10, verse number 25. Krishna says, Yagya Nam Jap Yagyo Asmi. Of sacrifices, I'm the chanting of the holy name, Jap. So, Yagya Nam, when he is describing his opulences, then he says, out of the yagyas, of the all kinds of sacrifices, the biggest sacrifice is chanting of holy name of Lord Krishna. So, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ant Leela 20 chapter verse 16 again says, My Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have given many names such as Krishna and Govinda. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for remembering them. So these are the evidences from scriptures. Now, I'll just give you a brief idea of what these words mean. Hare stands for Radharani. The supreme internal potency of Radharani is when we say Hare. That means if we want to please Krishna, we have to first worship Radharani. So Hare represents the supreme internal potency of Lord Krishna, that is Srimati Radharani. Then Krishna, Krishna is all attractive. And Rama, he is the enjoyer, supreme enjoyer of whatever Sukrati we are doing. So this mantra is basically remembering Radharani, Krishna, and Lord Rama also. So these are do's for chanting. I will go through this part very quickly because these are simple instructions how we should chant the Mahamantra and what we should not do while chanting the Mahamantra. chant the Panch Tattva mantra before starting to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And what is that Panch Tantra mantra? Anybody? I always.
Om Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much. So this is Panch Tattva. Before we chanting, we have to start chanting Panch Tattva mantra. Panch Tattva mantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta. We are worshipping whom? Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are Krishna performing, Radha Rani perform in the mood of Krishna. And I remember you as, so Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Vasadi Bhakta Vranda, then Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Advait, then Gadadhar, and Shri Vas. These are 5 tattva. We start chanting. Just remember, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. This is the picture. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here. Nityananda is blue, and that the Advait Mahaprabhu is here in the white dress, and this is in red dress. He is Gadadhar, and she is Srivas Guru. So I offer my respective obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Sri Advait, Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas Thakur, and all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Then we start chanting. Then chant, the second rule is chant audibly, loud enough to hear the mantra. The idea is that when you are loudly speaking, hear it with your ears, and the sound reverberates into your mind, so that no other thought enters into mind. So chanting should not be done. Of course, there may be places where you can't do loud chanting, but when the Brahma Muhurti, when you are sitting alone and chanting in your puja room, chant loudly. That's it. Then pronounce each name distinctly. Each name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. What happens when you start chanting loudly or rapidly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare? So this, we are not speaking each syllable. There are 16 syllables. Each syllable must be spoken very distinctly and clearly, and you should be audible to ears. Chant with respect, devotion, and concentration, not when mind is wavering. So it is a Nam Aprad. It is Nam Aprad number 10. When you don't have faith and your mind is inattentive and you're still thinking of material objects, so this is Nam Aprad number 10. So it has to be avoided while chanting. You can chant in any place, sitting or walking, facing or in any direction, or maybe 16, if you are doing 16 rounds or you are doing 4 rounds, then you can divide those rounds, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, no problem. But it should be done with full concentration. You can chant at any time. However, it is recommended to chant during the early morning hours, that is Brahma Muhurt. Brahma Muhurt means 2.5 hours before sunrise. This is Brahma Muhurt. So this is recommended. And you can chant either before or after taking bath. There is no rules, regulation regarding taking bath always. It is recommended to chant by keeping count. So chanting must always be done on beat. Chanting mentally, orally, or in fingers is not recommended in this in ISKCON. So preferably on Tulsi Mala having 108 beats, and there is one Krishna beat which is called apex beat. We just turn around when we start another round, so that it is not crossed over, because apex beat or Krishna beat is not. If you wish, I can tomorrow I can show you the demonstration how to change the apex beat. So this is recommended. Now there are certain don'ts of chanting. One should not chant only for a portion of the Maha Mantra. Only a small part you can't. It has to be sung. All the 16 syllables have to be sung or chanted at one time. One should not chant on the Krishna beat of the Japmala. This is the top beat, Krishna beat, and that is to be reversed so that you don't cross over it. And this is Krishna himself, so we don't cross over Krishna, right? So this is never done. Then one should not chant while reading a book or newspaper or watching TV, etc. There should be total full attention on chanting what we are what we are chanting. The sound should be going to ear, and mentally we should be with that sound, nowhere else, neither book, TV or newspaper or even talking. And benefits, what are the benefits of chanting? Freedom from the reactions of sin, not only of this birth, of hundreds and hundreds of previous births. All our sins are nullified by the mercy of Lord. So then in our present condition, we are slaves to many whimsical thoughts and desires, because so many gurus and so many people are there. So relief, the chanting really gives us relief from unwanted drives and habits. Habits like drinking, smoking, unnecessary, drugs and all kind of such things. Vices, they are driven away from our mind. And also there is anarth nibrati. You will remember I talked about sadhu sangha, then bhajan kriya, and bhajan kriya is chanting, and thereafter anarth nibrati is there. So we get rid of all those 6 enemies. So it also gives us freedom from anxiety and stress. We feel so blissful. You can see from the face of these people over here, so blissful mood and in a joyous, happy mood. So that gives peace of mind also. And this is the real happiness. Happiness we get from material world is transitory and temporary only. It has a adi. We just now had in the yesterday's chapter we learned it has an adi, or a beginning and an end. But remembering Lord Krishna's name gives us real happiness, eternal happiness, and we are in a state of bliss whole day if we are doing chanting in the morning time. So then this gives enlightenment. We come to know the self much better, in a much better manner as compared to if we are not chanting. So you can see this is from some New York or something. And people say about Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now, we believe on Sadhu Shastra and spiritual master, but there are some opinion makers or leaders of the world who have a weightage, whose words have a weight on the common man. With the Mahajan, Yadi Acharati Shreshtas. Now we just studied this syllable yesterday. Whatever great people do, the common people follow. That is what Krishna said to Arjuna. So these are, you can see the George Harrison, the hippie. He was Srila Prabhupada, when he went to States, he stayed with these people. And how this George Harrison, ultimately, he wrote a book, Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. It is a small book, beautifully. He put different questions on religion, on practice, religious practices, and Prabhupada answers. So what these people have to say about, it is really a process of having a realization of God. This is a person who was so addicted to drugs and alcohol and all kind of vices. This is his opinion after coming in this Hare Krishna movement, or after getting the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. It's really a process of having realization of God. So this is George Harrison. Now, this person is, everything started happening for me when I began chanting Hare Krishna. Now, this person is Jean-Claude Hellish. He is the youngest director of 3M Incorporate, France. He is 29-year-old only. And he said this is his opinion regarding Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then you can see here, these are Albert Brush and Ford, Mr. Ford and his wife, the owner of Ford Motor Company. Chanting Hare Krishna has made a tremendous impact in my life. So this is Albert Brush and Ford. Then you can see here, this is Andy Desai, leading Indian industrialist. He owns this Apar group of companies and GE also. I recommend chanting Hare Krishna for many. I have been chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for many years, and I have never found anything more pleasurable than when chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is Apar group chairman, Desai, Mr. Desai. And now then we have chanting Hare Krishna has helped me face all the ups and downs in my life with a great confidence and peace of mind. This is what Rishikesh Mafatlal, the Chief Executive Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Mafatlal Group of Companies says. So now this is a model. She is a Dutch model. Chanting helped me give up bad habits. It changed my vision of things. And she is Annie Schoffers It's a Dutch model. Then there is another person, by another celebrity. By starting to chant Hare Krishna, I feel tremendous happiness. This is what Vicky Overton, leading European model, says. Now they all took to Hare Krishna, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. My outlook towards life is not more brighter after starting to associate with Hare Krishna devotees and chanting the Mahamantra. Now this is an army officer, Bruce Kilmer. He's then you can see another figure. Chanting makes me feel close to God. So this is Marco Ferrini, Italy's top furniture designer. Then you can have this person also. He is chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra significantly reduces stress, depression, the mode of ignorance, and considerably increases the mode of goodness. This is David Wolf, Master of Social Service. He's teaching researcher on Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the Florida State University. Then we have this gentleman. When I'm stressed out, I chant. It's one thing which charges my batteries, it clears my mind and brings me back in focus. This is what Mr. Paul Blair, a printing executive, a very renowned person, has to say. Then when I'm nervous, I find chanting very calming. I don't get shaken up at little things. This is Mrs. Shelley Raleigh. She's a merchandiser. Then you can have here chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and reading authorized books on Krishna consciousness has brought me great peace. This is what Ramesh Lal, Toronto Health Spa proprietor, has to say. And you can also chant and be happy. So let us chant once. Hare Krishna. Please, all of you, unmute and sing with me, chant with me. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama, Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So you
Hare
can.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
We have evidence from scriptures. We have evidence for so many celebrities, so many recognized persons who are opinion makers at the world global level and also at their own place level. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the remedy in this Kali Yuga, and no other exercise, no other yoga is possible in this yoga because of those factors I told you. We have a short life we are lazy, we are always restless, we are disturbed, we are have low intelligence, and of course we are not able to concentrate. So this is the easiest thing to do, easiest mantra to do. And in Kali Yuga, as just now the scriptures reveal, that it is the only practice of which is possible for people, mundane people like us. So let us all chant. And since most of you may be already chanting 1 or 2 rounds, my request to all of you is that please at least chant 2 to 4 mantras daily. Anytime, anywhere, whenever you are free, whenever you are able to focus, and whenever you feel it is convenient to chant. But the best time, of course, is I get up at 4 in the morning and attend Mangala Aarti at ISKCON Bangalore Temple, online Mangala Aarti, and I do more than 16 plus chanting rounds. It takes about, one round takes about 7 to 8 minutes. So it takes about quarter to 2 hours, and morning time you are undisturbed. There is nothing to do. So no attraction towards material objects. No need to take a bath and or do all these kind of things. But if you can take, it's fine, but not minimum contact of senses with these material objects in the morning time, and start chanting. Fresh up, change your clothes, or wash your face and brush your teeth and get ready, and after refreshing, sit down in your altar, focusing your mind not on anything else, but just hearing Shravanam. Shravanam, Prahlad Maharaj, we will talk about it in the next chapter. Shravanam Kirtanam, that is the trust of Bhakti Yoga in the present days. No, nothing else. Just sing the glory of Lord and just listen. And listen from whom? Spiritual master, who is bona fide, who is from disciplic succession. People who have distorted the message of original message of Lord Krishna, they are not authorized representatives. We should not listen from them. So we come to end of this chapter. It is wonderful chapter because now this is the beginning of Bhakti Yoga. Now from this this end of Karma Yoga, and now we shall go to Bhakti Yoga, and Lord Krishna says who he himself, who he is, what is his opulences, what is the most confidential knowledge that he gives to Arjuna, and also how to practice his Bhakti Yoga. So this is today's topic. Any questions or doubts, you are welcome to ask or make an observation or anything. And Mataji has already posted attendance link. Please fill that form before you leave. Any doubt or any question you would like to ask, you are welcome, Prabhuji or Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
My doubt is in Kali Yuga, yogic practice is Nam Sankirtan. In Maharashtra, Santa Jnaneshwara translate Bhagavadgita in Marathi for Marathi people.
Yes.
But he has taken Samadhi, Sanjeevan Samadhi in early ages. How it is happen?
I can't answer. I don't have knowledge, Prabhuji, about this thing because something which I don't know, I can't attempt. Samadhi we have seen. It is altogether not impossible. Prabhuji, as was your observation earlier, I think it is possible for those elevated souls who had been very pious and who had earned a lot of sukritis in many, many past lives. They can achieve this kind of Samadhi. But not mundane people like us. We can't do it. In the next chapter, Lord is going to disclose all these aspects which you are putting now, in fact. So the purpose is disciplic succession. Whichever sampradaya you belong to, we have to follow some kind of lineage always. Then only we can rise in our spiritual journey. Otherwise, no. There are distortions. We gave an example of a broken charging lead, so the current will not flow to the right place. So we have to have some faith in some kind of sampradaya. And I told you, Brahma, Madhav, Gaudiya Sampradaya, this is to which ISKCON belongs. It has coming directly from Lord Brahma. And who gave the knowledge of this to Lord Brahma? Lord Krishna himself gave this knowledge to the heart of Lord Brahma. So, and that is how disciplic succession is maintained, and that is how we are getting the message as it was delivered by Lord Krishna himself to Arjuna.
Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My one of request is that please do participate. So I've noticed some Prabhujis, one or two Mataji, they are only speaking. I want all of you to interact because that is how we learn from each other. I'm also learning from you, Prabhuji and Matajis. So please do interact and do mention your doubts openly. State what you think, what you would like to correct me or what like to add or observe, or maybe something extra which you know that you let us share with this knowledge with all. So I close today's chapter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuva ev jai patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantikot Vaishnav Panth ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad ki jai. Srimad Bhagavadgita ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Mataji, Danvat Pranam to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji.